John Kelly is part of the furniture of Lusk. He's a new-fashioned man, an old-fashioned man. Old-fashioned in that he is a tradesman. He has skills that he acquired and put to good use all down his long life. He wrote a short story about the very foundation of his skills and where they came from, and this is it. In 1948, at 14 years of age, I finished with the Irish National School system without regret, having little aptitude for the Irish language and no liking for the dark intensity of religious instruction. There's no memory of enjoyment in any subject. Sin was everywhere. The mantra of thought, word, deed or omission was ingrained into us. It was a time of want and little ambition. The value of hard work was part of our culture. The local farmers provided seasonal work for the willing youth and were very fair in their dealings with us. Most parents had hopes of their children securing an apprenticeship in a trade. A 2-year course in the tech in Balbriggan might help matters. Some sniffed about real education, but any other type would require means and brains, the former being more important than the latter. I enrolled in Balbriggan for the 2-year course. The pupil number was then less than 100 between boys and girls. The tech was a plain building on the side of a hill in Clonard Street. The headmaster, Mr. Sean Cody, made us aware of the rules and the operation of the school. The girls' section was a strict no-go area, of course. Mr. Cody taught woodwork, geometry and drawing. He was a very good teacher, being firm and fair. He was also a proud Irishman. Mr. Keating was the instructor in metalwork, science, mechanical drawing. He was a bright, sturdy man who could read everybody's mind and could spot a messer in a flash. A few smart Alecs in time tasted his caustic wit to the amusement of the rest of us. Mr. Duke taught Irish. He was oldish, but very erect and vibrant. He had such passion for all things Irish. He talked about Gaelic games, war heroes, Irish music and dancing. He was very disappointed that none of us knew of Seamus Ennis, the piper who lived in the Knoll. Miss MacDonald and Miss O'Driscoll taught English and maths to both boys and girls. At first, Miss MacDonald found it difficult to get attention when teaching poetry. The delicacy of Wordsworth's daffodils and the buzzing of the bees of Yeats did not excite the lads. She changed then to the wreck of the Hesperus and very soon had everyone's imagination fired with the action-packed lines. She was great. The caretaker was Mr. Peter Hurley, a humorous footballing man who had the respect of everyone. He was a great backup for the teachers. He kept the materials and equipment in great order and with great attention to safety. The man who wrote that the hand is the extension of the mind may well have had the old technical school educational model in mind. Another quote is, "I hear, I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand." The doing was the most enjoyable for most of the lads. The hand dragged the head along. The woodwork classes were popular as most of the lads had some skills in the use of tools. However, the refined and accurate use took some time to master. A simple jointing of 2 pieces of wood would be a typical project. First, a drawing would be required to give an exploded picture and the measurements of the joint. The discipline of exact use of the geometry set, the tri-square, the projector, to produce a decent picture, produced many furrowed brows and a lot of rubber use. A straight line was difficult enough. An angled projection was a torture. The prospect of making a better attempt in wood kept most of us going. Ours was an action class. The metalwork class was graft. Everybody was all attention. Mr. Keating would have everyone supplied with a length of flat-made steel strip, about 1 inch wide. He would instruct us to shorten the strips to give a length working from both ends. 2 scribed and punched dotted lines marked the length. The hacksaw cut was a bit of a gamble. How close to cut on the waist side of the lines? After this, the pieces had to be filed square. Your effort was then checked for accuracy by your friend at the near side bench. Most of us were more critical of each other's work than being honest about our own. The qualities and uses of the different metals were explained to us, and the different melting points. The exercise in heat aided metal shaping and hardening, the compositions of solder and its use, and the welding processes all got rapt attention. The instruction in the drilling of different metals, the drill speed, the cutting angle of the drill bit and lubrication would last a lifetime. The necessity of using the appropriate diameter of drilling when cutting a thread, male or female, would also register. In the science class, we were instructed to magnetism and the great men of science, the inventors, the men who are the giants of the platform upon which today's technology rests. Mr. Keating had the magic of opening the eyes, ears and minds of those who would wonder for the rest of their lives. When our 2-year stint ended in the summer of 1950, jobs were thin enough on the ground. Eventually, I got a semi-skilled job in a car assembly plant. That job saw off the teenage years until stagnation descended once again. I joined the multitude who had to emigrate for work. Much of what was learned in Clonard Street found greater use away. These few lines are a much delayed tribute to the Balbriggan tech teachers, to those who were classmates, and finally to the good-humoured, sports-mad people of Balbriggan who put up with us for 2 happy years. The passage of time can dull the accuracy of some memories and make others more colourful. The help of Matt Oglesby in reversing down memory lane is greatly appreciated.